Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from ignorance to illumination. Lead us from death to immortality. Om. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Om Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Gnana Mudraya Krishnaya Gita Duhe Namaha. Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopala Nandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Getamritam Mahat. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. In our last class, we have extensively discussed the 16th verse of the second chapter, Nasato Vidyate Bhavo Na Bhavo Vidyate Sataha. The whole reality, which is real and which is experienced by us, has been divided into two categories: reality and seeming reality. In fact, Vedanta actually starts with three. I only shortened it: Sat, Asat and Tuchya. The word used is Tuchya. Sat means reality. Mithya means that which is seeming reality. Tuchya means that which never exists. Existence, seeming existence, or manifested existence, and non-existence. We don't talk about non-existence because no one had ever experienced non-existence. This is the simple fact. Satyam and Mithya. Satyam means that which is real, really real, unchanging. What is Mithya? Our interpretation or our experience of the reality, our experience of existence, our experience of truth. What is the problem now? All the problems that we have, we always want that which is only reality, capital R. We don't want to change anything. Do we not want to change? Suppose someone is suffering. Do we want to change it or not? Interestingly, what is suffering? Suffering means less seeing of happiness. You know, about light they say, what is the relationship between light and darkness? Less of light is darkness and less of darkness is light. We want always to exist. We want only real. We never want that which is fake. Another word for seeming reality is what? Fake. If someone comes and tells you, I really love you with fake love. My love is real fake love. Would you like? Nobody likes. Even if we want to do that, we don't want from other people to do that. We want only khati jinish, the actual thing we want. We want the real thing. So what is the problem? Identifying ourselves with what we call mithya, changing. And that brings all the problems. Reality doesn't change. Does reality ever change? This is very important point we have to understand. Many times I am using that. Reality never changes. Then what is the seeming reality? What is the relationship between reality and seeming reality? You have to be very observant to understand this. Does reality change? Because there is a problem. If reality changes, you can never rely upon it. It has to be real only. Now what is the problem? Reality never changes. but it appears to be changing. And if something appears to be changing, two conditions are necessary. First of all, there must be somebody other than the real. Secondly, that person must be viewing it. Swami Vivekananda in his Jnana Yoga says, how does the infinite become finite? It doesn't become, but it appears to become. How does it appear to become? Because when perceived through time, space and causation, it appears to be. The example is a red flower kept behind a crystal. A red flower kept behind a crystal. How does the crystal appear? Red. Has it ever become red? So what is that crystal? Atman, reality. What is the flower? Desha, Kala and Nimitta. Another word for time, space, causation. Do you know what is the other word? Mind. Like prism, you put prism and watch the light. Then it seems to be having 7 colors. Thing changes. This is a most fundamental idea of Vedanta. Whether you are Dvaitin, Visishtadvaitin or Advaitin. That's why in the Dvaita or Visishtadvaita, they use a word. It is Achyuta. Achyuta means to move from one's nature. Achyutam. Achyutam Keshavam Narayanam. Achyuti means downfall, change. Achyuta means God never changes. Who changes? It is the devotee who changes. That's why he thinks about God. 1 minute he thinks God is good. Another minute he thinks God is not so good. Whenever things are favorable, God is very good. If he is not favorable, God is not very good. That idea is related with Shakali Tomari Icha. What does it mean? Oh mother, whatever happens, it is by thy will, and whatever happens by thy will is good. Another example that is given is clay and the pot, the rope and the snake. The rope, does it ever become a snake? But it appears. To whom? Does it appear to the rope as snake, or does it appear to someone who is other than the rope? Duality comes. And if there is a duality, we have no right to call God as infinite. Do you see the point? Who can call infinite as infinite, if at all it is? Only infinite can say, I am infinite. You cannot say God is infinite. You definitely say, I am not infinite. But infinitely you go on saying, I am not infinite. All the time, There must be a duality. And that seeming duality is also wrong. So what is the example given? Rope and snake and clay and pot. What is the problem? If you look from the viewpoint of pot is, there is a birth, there is a change, there is a death. Pot is born, pot continues to be, and at some point pot also disappears. We all know it. Whoever is born, whatever is born, it is destined to die. But here death is not non-existence. Death is what? Going back to its prevalent causes. That's important. But here clay and the pot, if we pay attention only to the pot, pay attention means what? I am the pot. That's why in old age we go to pot. They say, pottering. Old man is pottering. What is the pot here? The body and the mind. And what is the clay here? One. Atman. So there are not two things. This is the point I am trying to tell you. There are not, one is Atman and another is non-Atman. No. From which point of view you are looking? If you are looking through the prism of time, space and causation, Atman appears as, first of all, non-Atman. Non-Atman means what? Manifold. See how this beautiful idea comes. How many infinites can be there? Only one. Therefore, when we are not seeing the infinite as infinite, then necessarily we have to see the infinite as what? Finite. And how many finites? One finite? Infinite finites. Like kaleidoscope. Like that it appears. Changing it appears. That is what the Lord is trying to expound from the 12th verse until the 25th verse. He has taken up only two words. What is Atman and what is Non-Atman. Non-Atman means what? Body and mind. Here body, mind also, very profound idea. The body is inert, what Ramanuja calls Jada. What is the mind? Chetana, Jiva. Ishvara, Jagat. So this Jagat has got two, Chit and Achit. Chit means what? That which is endowed with awareness, consciousness. Chit. Achit means that which doesn't have consciousness. So this table doesn't have, it doesn't know I am a table. And my body also doesn't know I am the body. Who says this is the body? Is not the body which says, the hand never says I am the hand. If it has that much awareness, then your cheek will become reddish all the time. But unfortunately it doesn't know. Then who says I am the body? It is the mind which says I am the body, I am happy, I am unhappy, I am clever, I am idiot, all those. This is the point we are talking about. Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah, ubhayah api drushta antahatu anayo tattvadarshibhihi. The unreal has no being and there is no non-being of the real. The real is never going to become unreal. And the unreal is never ever going to become real. Now, important point. What do you mean by unreal? Already we are discussing it. Unreal means not absolute unreality. There is no such thing. Seeming, that means reality seen is called seeming reality. And this seeming reality is always experienced by somebody else who works through the prism of time, space and causation. Again, you take the example of the snake and the rope. What is the rope? The rope is rope 24 hours a day. But it appears to be a snake when? Desha, a particular place, then Kala, particular time. What is that particular time? When not complete darkness, not complete light, but semi-darkness. Under that condition, and then another condition also I mentioned, is very important. Fear, there should be fear. So to mistake something for the other thing, there should be three conditions should be fulfilled. The first condition is that the thing upon which we are superimposing, that means the object which we are going to mistake should be a little bit known and not some part known, some part non. There is something, that much we know. But what exactly it is, we don't know. First condition. And the second condition is the thing with which we are going to mistake that object, there must be a similarity. Because nobody mistakes a rope for an elephant. The rope and the serpent have got lot of similarities. The third factor is fear. Fear should be there. That is why Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, fear always comes from the second. No one fears oneself. The fear always comes from the second. So what about our fear about old age and disease and death and all that? Because we know I am the Atman, but I have a body. There are two. My hand. That's why we say my body, my mind. Did you think about it? This is a very important word. Grammar tells us what is the truth. If you say I, that is you. If you say my, it is anything but you. But our problem is, with regard to anything outside our body, we use the word my. But we behave as though it is me. Whereas with regard to the body, we are using sometimes I, sometimes my. Have you understood? How are you? I am not well. What is the cause? My stomach is not well. You see, one breath, I am not well. Second breath, my stomach is not well. So nobody can mistake I and my Even in ordinary linguistic way, nobody can mistake. But because we are, to the birth of this body, we are identifying, coming out, identifying, non-identifying. It is going on all the time. That is our problem. I am going to die. I am going to be unhappy. These are the two conditions. So the Lord is distinguishing two facts. One fact is the real reality. The other fact is seeming reality. So what is the real reality? The Atman. What is the seeming reality? Correct. Everything else. Everything else, Atman and non-Atman, Anatma. Atma and Anatma. Our whole experience, our whole life is nothing but these two. The Lord is assuring us that there is the unreal has no being at all. Seeming reality has no reality of its own. And there is no non-being of the real. Okay. The truth about both has been seen by the knowers of truth. Knowers of truth means what? Those who realized God. Realized God means what? Realized the truth. They know the distinction that here is the Atman, here is seeming. So they are never frightened. Again, the scripture gives us, commentary gives us, here is the clay and here is the pot. Tell me, is there a substance called pot? Is there, how many substances? Here is clay, here is pot. How many substances are there? Only one. Clay is the only one. And what is the pot? Clay viewed from the point of shape, utility. So we give a name, Nama and Rupa. That is called pot. If the clay is weighing 1 kg, how much does the pot weigh? Without, with water or without water? That's another substance. So you can't add. Pot is another substance and water is another substance. No. Water is another substance. Pot is not another substance. It is, and there is one point. Second point, very important point. You cannot dwell upon two realities at the same time. When you think of the clay, you are thinking of what? Clay. When you are thinking of the pot, you are not thinking of the clay. Our problem is how to remember all the time that this is a clay pot. This is a golden ornament. If the ornament becomes gold, does the gold become gold? Is there something called gold? Old gold? There is nothing called. But such is our condition of the mind. It wants to get polished. Interestingly, what is polishing? What do you remove? When you polish a golden ornament or a brass, what do you remove? Do you remove the brass or do you remove something that accumulates over the brass? Isn't it? Brass will be brass. Something comes and then adds itself to it, and you take some material and remove that, and what remains? Remains. Clay and pot, if we identify more with the pot, then I was born, I am living now, I am going to die. This is called dash from womb to tomb. Such is the Mahamaya. Yet we are all experiencing it. Even though I am talking about it, if a terrorist comes now, what do you think I will do? There was a guru teaching for many years. Everything is in illusion, delusion, avidya. He used to sit under a tree and teach to his disciples. One day a tiger came. He was the first person to climb. And then when the tiger had gone away, then the guru came down. By the time the disciples also came down, and disciples were furious. You were teaching. Everything is a delusion. And you escaped. You did not even think about us. You are the first person to escape. And the Guruji said, you idiot, stupid fellows, you never understood whatever I have been teaching for the last so many years. Whatever you have seen me doing, that is also. This is what the essence of what the Lord wants to say in the 16th verse. If we have to believe what the Lord is saying, we will have no fear at all, because there will be no birth, there will be no death. As Atman, there is neither birth nor death. We already discussed from the 12th verse onwards. It is not that you were born, I was born, And it is not that I was going to die or all these kings were going to die. No one is going to be born, no one is going to die. In so many words he was telling. But such is the delusion that I am the body, I am the mind. And the funny thing about this is, the body is not worried about death. The body is not worried about old age. Who is worried? It is the mind which is worried. How do we know? Because even the most old person, suffering person, when he is in deep sleep, he is totally free from and very happy. Why? Because during deep sleep, he goes beyond the identity of both body and the mind. That's very important for us. What is changing must always be unreal, and what is constant or permanent must always be real. The Atman or the eternal, all-pervading self ever exists. It is the only reality. This phenomenal world of names and forms is ever changing. Names and forms are subject to decay and death. Hence, they are unreal or impermanent. This is what Sri Ramakrishna tells in his fourth commandment. What is it? God alone is real. Everything else is unreal. And then he explains what is unreality. Impermanent. Impermanent. God alone is permanent. If I want to become permanent, and all of us want to become permanent, why? Otherwise fear comes. If I want to go beyond fear, want to become fearless, what should I become? Permanent. If I want to become permanent, then I should not be changing. And if I should not be changing, I should be eternal. And if I have to be eternal, there is only one eternal principle. What is it? God. Therefore, I must become God. There is no other way. That is how a devotee unconsciously identifies himself and, oh Lord, I am your devotee, you are my deity. Since you are eternal, then I am also eternal, because I am your child. How can I be non-eternal? You see, here is a very beautiful point. Relationship can exist only between two similar things, between two human beings, between two dogs, between two cats, between two trees. Dissimilar things. Can I say that this table is my mama? I cannot have that kind of relationship. What type of relationship? I am the possessor, this is my possession. That relationship is there. I am not talking about similar relationship. I am a human being, my parents are human being, I am a human being. If God is eternal, what am I? I am eternal. That's why Visishtadvaita says God is the Seshi and I am the Sesha. Means God is the whole, I am the part. That is the difference between Advaita and Visishtadvaita. So the only Advaita says, how can there be that which is eternal must be infinite, and there cannot be more than one infinite. These are all philosophical discussions. You don't worry about it. What is important is, if anybody says I am a devotee of God and fears birth and death, then he is not a devotee of God. That's why he says, Janma Janmantarepi Tava Bhaktaha Bhavitum Aham Snami. In every life, I would desire to become your devotee. Means what? In every desire, the body, we know that the body goes. That means there is something which is using the body, but which is not the body, and which we want to take as an instrument. I am there. However, if there are billion births also, the body is being born and dies, but I am permanent. That is a beautiful idea we have to keep in mind. Asat means that which is permanently non-existent, ever non-existent. And sometimes it is called Trikalepi Avidyamanam. Trikala means what? Bhuta, Vartamana, Bhavishya. Past, present and future. That which doesn't exist in the past, present and future is called really non-existent. Such a thing never exists. We don't need even to think about it. It is also called Tucham, to distinguish it between Mithya. Tucham means what? That which never exists. In fact, the Maya delusion is, in this world of ours, whenever something is absent, we call it non-existent. This is our problem. Here is a pot and pot is broken. And that pot is broken forever. You can make another pot, but you can't have the same pot again. You see the point? Mind will be there. Mind also is tucham only in the end. But at this moment, mind is not tucham. It is only mithya. When does the body lasts how long? Until this life lasts. The mind lasts how long? Until we get liberation. Once we get liberation, then only the mind is permanently destroyed. Destroyed means what? It goes back into its element, which is nothing but Atman. You see, one important point I will tell again and again. Whenever we are talking about these things, this is not our experience. We are talking about God. We are talking about Atman. Is this our experience? No. Then how are we taking it, taking for granted that they are real? Because of the scriptures. That's important for us. No scientist can ever prove that there is a soul, that there is life after birth. There is something called karma phala. No scientist can ever prove. Simple example, a child is born blind. Which scientist is going to prove? In fact, science doesn't tell us the why of things. Science always tells what? The how of things. You see, water. How is water produced? See, 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen. What is the reason that this has become water? It cannot tell. How, when you combine these 2 things, these 2 particles change their nature. This is a very important point for all of us. Science never gives any answers as to why. Always it is a description of how things happen. And they call it why. That's an important point we have to keep. In our experience, we will never know about the Atman. Do we know about Anatman at least? See, we are talking. There is birth, there is death. So do we really know? Because according to the scriptures, what we call birth is not a new production, a new creation. Absolutely it was not there before. Suddenly it came into as a created object. That's not the idea of the scripture. What it says is, pot was already there, unmanifested, where? In the clay. If you have that 100% conviction, you will have no fear at all. But what is our problem? That this is, I am born, first time I am being born, and first time only I am going to, and first time and last time I am going to. That's why we grieve so much. Suppose, just I am giving an example, you come to know that in your next birth, you are going to be born as a princess, very healthy, very beautiful, very intelligent, and going to get the best husband in the whole world. Will you fear death? Or will you be looking forward? No. Do you see the point? But we are thinking, death means what? I am going to be non-existent forever. This is the point. About both we don't know. That's why in the 16th verse, what is telling? Ubhayorapi drushtontas anayoh tattvadarshvi. The truth about both the Atman, the truth also about the Anatman, non-Atman, the real truth about both of them, only a realized soul knows, nobody else knows. Maybe until this point, you are under the delusion, we don't know the Atman, but we know about the Atman. I will tell you a very curious point also. If you know about Anatman, you will know about Atman. Because how do you know this is not a door? You must know about the door. So if you definitely know this is a table, then you must be knowing what is not a table. If you don't know what is Atman, you will not know what is also Anatman. Half digested knowledge. So if you know about Anatman, you will also know about Atman. We are ignorant with regard to both. That is why, who is a wise person? He who knows about both. That's a very important point. Then how do we know about the nature of the Atman? From the scriptures. Scriptures. How do we know the nature of the Anatman?
So are we not trying here to understand Atman from Anatman aspect, because we know what Anatman is. I mean, assuming we know Anatman because it is not permanent, it is unreal. So the extension of that thought is Atman must be everything but this, which is permanent, real. So that's how we are going, aren't we?
Yeah, but we don't have complete knowledge about Atman or about Anatman. We don't have permanent. See here, that's why I'm giving this example. Here is clay, here is pot. Before the clay had become pot. Became means what? It's also very interesting. I'm not trying to confuse you. Did the clay ever become pot? Became means what? Something was there, it became something else. Did the clay become non-clay, something else? No. So what is it that we call it a pot? Only the shape, form, and then we give a name, and we have a utility in our mind. So we have some idea about Anatman. By the same token, which you intelligently raised, we also know something about Atman. Because if you don't know something about Atman, you will also know. But it is not complete knowledge.
It's not complete.
But we are placing more importance to what? Atman or Anatman? Even though we know, our attention, our identification is more with the Anatman. That is why the problems are coming. I am born, no problem, because nobody took my permission to make me born. I am growing up, no problem. Children have no problem. When we are in deep sleep, no problem. But when the body attains certain age, after that, two problems. One is the body is undergoing a change, that is a problem. And our worrying that the body is undergoing a change and I don't want it to change is the biggest problem. Then the second thing is Sat, which is permanently existent in Sanskrit. Trikale api vidyamanam. That which exists in the past, present and future. That means there is no time when it will not be. That is called Sat or Satyam. The third category is called Mithya, which is temporarily existent. When a thing is temporarily existent, will it come under Asat or Sat? Asat means permanent non-existence. Sat means permanent existence. So what is the third category? Mithya. So Mithya, does it fall under Sat or Asat? Under neither category. That's why a third word is used. It is called Mithya. That's what I called seeming reality. Seeming reality is not a separate entity. Seeing reality through the prism of time-space causation is called seeming reality. There is no thing called seeming reality. Seeing something as not as it is, but as something else, that is called seeming reality.
So can we say that as long as somebody is thinking the rope as a snake, at that point of time is the third mithya?
That is called mithya. Why it is called mithya? It is neither existence nor total non-existence. So what is the common thing? Common thing is there is something. What is the uncommon thing? The ropeness is replaced by snakeness. And when the light is brought, the opposite phenomena. Snakeness is replaced by ropeness. A wise man is one who knows both, the nature of both, but that which is real reality, that which is seeming reality, and he resolves the seeming reality into the real reality. Meaning, when a person is suffering under the delusion, under the fear, this is a snake. When light is brought, what happens to the snake now? He resolves that seeming rope. Understand? What is seeming rope? Another name for seeming rope? Snake. If it is rope, then you don't say seeming rope. Seeming rope is another name for seeming rope is snake. That snake is resolved into that rope. That means we start seeing seeming reality not as seeming reality but as a real reality. Then he becomes free from fear of death and all those things. The temporarily existent pot is born out of clay, resolves back into clay. Not only that, the pot exists also because of clay alone. It has no separate existence. A pot has no separate existence excepting as a clay. The table has no separate existence excepting as a wood. An ornament has no separate existence excepting as a gold. But we forget that one. The temporary pot born out of clay resolves into clay, and so the temporary pot has got a dependent existence. Dependent existence means it doesn't have its own existence. The existence of the clay is the existence of the pot. The existence of the rope is the existence of the snake. If you remove the rope,
body is there, even dead body.
Dead body.
There is no Atman inside. Dead body is there.
No, existence is there. That's why what is the definition of Atman? Sat, Chit and Ananda. In a dead body, all the three will be there, because these are not three in one. Where there is existence, there will be Chit and Ananda. Where there is Chit and Ananda, there will be existence. Where there is Ananda, there will be Sat and also Chit. Slowly we will understand that point. But what is the problem now? It is not, these two are not manifest. Chit is not manifest, as well as Ananda is also not manifest. As evolution takes place, see, first it is what you call inorganic matter. Inorganic means what? What Ramanuja Vishishtadvaita calls achit. What is organic? Chit. And when this inorganic matter evolves into organic matter and goes on evolving, then it becomes a one-celled creature, amoeba, and then an insect, a plant, an animal, a bird, then human being, and ultimately a God realized soul. Then what does he think? I am the divine. He knows. Then there is no separate world, etc. That is how we have to accept these concepts, because the scripture is telling us. No science, no other type of knowledge can give us this knowledge. Only scripture can give us this knowledge. That's why take it for granted it is the truth. And then do sadhana to make it our own. That is, first of all, we have to have this kind of what is called scriptural knowledge. All mithya objects enjoy only dependent existence. They do not have their independent existence. This is a point. The final point is that all mithya vastus depend upon satyam or sat. If there is a snake, it depends upon the rope. If there is a table, it depends upon the wood, etc. The entire world is only mithya. Entire world is only mithya. What is mithya? Atman appearing with names and forms is called mithya. So what is really the world? Nothing but Atman. Why? Because it has existence, it has got consciousness, it has got Ananda. Everything is Ananda.
It's very difficult to perceive this.
But you know, whether you are a devotee, or even for a devotee, forget about this philosophy. What does the devotee think about God? When I go to God, first of all, I will have no fear. What is the fear? Fear has only one meaning. Fear of non-existence. There is no other fear. I will not be there. That is the only fear. Or something will not be there. But I will not be there. Fear, the word fear that we use in English language, has only two causes. First, let me give an illustration. I want to be happy. And I know that to make me happy, there must be an object which will give me happiness. So let us take an example, a sweet. I am there, the sweet is there. Now, there is no fear. Fear can come because of two reasons. Either I am here, the sweet is not there. The sweet is there, but I am not here. Do you see the point? So all fear is only fear of non-existence. What is our idea? When we go to God, the first thing is you can never think of God as non-existent. He will be there all the time. If your idea of God is like your idea of yourself, what is our idea? I am going to become old, I am going to be dead, I am most of the time moody. Moody means what? Changing all the time. We have an idea about God. He has no birth, he will not have death. Because if you think God is not going to have death, you will have to think that he also doesn't have any birth. Because death and birth are the problems of time. And he is beyond time. That is why he is called Kala. Kala doesn't have Kala. If I go to God, somehow I have that idea, I will be also escape from the influence of Kala. Is it not? I will have no fear. And what is Ananda, fearlessness is called Ananda. It's a profound idea. That's why I am taking time. So supposing, you are dissatisfied. What is another name for dissatisfaction? Fear. Another name for unhappiness is what? Fear. I want to be happy, but I am not happy. This springs only from fear. I have to give detailed, otherwise these ideas are a little bit subtle. Now supposing I decided to fast on some holy day, Ekadashi or whatever it is. Now I don't have any food. I don't see any hope of getting any food. But I have decided, I ate yesterday, but today I want to fast. I have fear in my mind. Okay, if I fast today also, then tomorrow if I don't get food, how am I going to continue? That means I will be forced to fast. But if the idea, my fridge is full of food, happily you can fast. Is it not? Not only happily you will fast, very happily you will fast, because last time you fasted, next day you enjoyed your food 3 times. This is called Dwadasha Parayana. And so, my fasting is partly due to religious reasons, partly because of practical reasons also. Do you understand now what is called fear? Unhappiness. Whether it is real or imagined unhappiness, that is another name for fear. I exist. Somebody may come and kill me. Even that thought can make me very unhappy. And we all know that the body has to go. Is it not? Always that fear is there. But because other things are there, and so we want to not to dwell upon that point all the time. Dvitiyadvai bhayam bhavati. Always fear comes from the second only. But when I go to God, then what happens? He is deathless. That means he is birthless. And he never changes. If I go to God, will I fear God is going to kill me? No. Not only that, indirectly, we don't have that crystal clear idea of what happens when we approach God. But unconsciously that I will be very happy. Means what? I will have no fear. That means what? I have nothing to fear from God. On the other hand, God is an embodiment of fearlessness. Fearlessness. And who can make you fearless? Who can make you fearless? Only fearlessness. And here also there is an idea. Suppose there is a Gunda. He is fearless. And I go near the Gunda. Will I be fearful or fearless? Because I know this person is going to cause me harm. But when you go to God, do you have that idea? Says, He loves me so much. See, I am trying to give profound idea. What is love? He loves me. Whether I love God or not, God loves me. Is it a fact or not? Holy Mother. Sadhu sajjana janani tumima ashadhu durjan shuta tomar. For a mother, there is no good child or bad child. Does he love us or not? Does it mean that all of us really love God? As human beings, what is our nature? If you love me, I love you. And if you love me 200%, I may love you 5%. Yeah, this is our idea. Is it a fact or not? If I love you 50%, will you love me 50%? I'm not asking 100%. Will you love me 50%? No. Because our expectations are too much. We don't want to give. We only want to receive. That is our point. God has created us like that. Very important point is, God loves us. And somehow we know that when we go to God, He will only fill us with what? Love. That means what? What is love? Can a lover create fear in the beloved? Can a lover create fear in the beloved? It's impossible. You know why? What is the definition of love? No, unconditional means You still have to. I will tell you what Swami Vivekananda had told a story. There was a Sufi parable. There was a lover and he had a beloved. One day he went to the beloved and he knocked at the door. And from inside came the question, "Who are you?" And he said, "This is me." The door did not open. Second time he asked, "Who are you?" Same reply he gave. The door did not open. Third time he knocked. Same question came, "Who are you?" This time he said, "Beloved, I am thee." And there was no door at all. What door means what? That which obstructs. And there is, if I love you, there is no obstruction at all. What is the point I am trying to tell you? What is love? Identity. When God says I love you, He is not saying you are different from me, therefore I love you. These are dualistic ideas. What God says is, I love you, that means you are not separate from me. You have to think about these ideas. Even a devotee has these beautiful, what is called ideas about Atman all the time attributed to God. That's what I told in our last class. Abstract terms are difficult to even to concept. But if we attribute them to a God or deity, is easier to understand. For example, simple example, Holy Mother. I will never have any fear of Holy Mother. Will she ever get angry with me? She will never get angry. She cannot get angry with me. Why? Because I am not separate from her. This is the idea. Whatever she has, whatever you have, belong to you or not. So whatever she has, belong to her or not. And whatever, if I am her, then whatever she has also belong to me or not. This is the idea. We have to change our idea of love. That's why Swamiji says, only a lover can be moral. What is love? Destroying the distinction between this duality. This is me and this is not me. To destroy that separation is called the basis of true morality. I am you. So how can I harm you? Because if I harm you, whom am I harming? Myself. If I do good, who am I doing good? Myself. If my left hand scratches my right hand, whom is it doing good? To itself? You see, I am trying to put some of my ideas to you. Any part of our body, if it has a pain, will the whole body suffer or only that particular limb suffers? Can you sleep? Can you say, oh, my sole of the leg is, let it suffer. I will go to sleep happily. Can you do that? Why? Because you have an idea. Every single part of the cell of the body is nothing but me. What is God? He who thinks the whole universe is nothing but me. That's
on the evolution.
Yeah.
Does it mean we have to come to that stage where
yes,
not you and me, it's
yes,
just one love?
Yes, yes. That's what the scripture is telling. So long as there is udaram antaram kurute, if there is one needle space difference between me and something else, fear will be there.
But fear, we are fearing, Guruji. So
yes, that's why
until we go fearless, we have to believe that we are not there yet. Because it's very difficult
but
to think.
This is what I am trying to convey to you. If you are a devotee of God, you will never fear. Says God is there. He is protecting me. What can anybody do to me? If there is even a little bit of true devotion, then we become fearless. But if you are fearing, there is some problem with our devotion. That means we don't trust God.
So Dvaita, Vishishta Dvaita, it all has to go, only Advaita.
That is a philosophical view. Forget about it. What I am trying to tell, if we have even little bit of devotion to God, there should be no worry, there should be no fear. The moment we forget that of our devotion to God, then fear comes.
Is that not how we are made, Guruji? That's what we are trying to overcome.
That's what evolution is meant.
Yeah.
The physical evolution is the body, and intellectual evolution is the intellectual conviction that there is someone who loves me and who is looking after me. I have nothing much to fear. Not only that, there is a profound philosophy the law of karma.
That is what Swami Vivekananda experienced all this.
Every realized soul experience. I am not even talking about a realized soul. I am even talking about a devotee, an ordinary devotee, who has this much of faith. That's what Jesus Christ is telling. If you have the faith of the size of a mustard, and if you tell to this mountain, move from here, immediately the mountain will move. There are so many stories are there. One Shiva Bhakta story, without stories, these teachings cannot be understood properly. Sri Ram Krishna's story, there was a Brahmin boy, and the Brahmin was a devotee of God. Every day he used to worship him. One day, the Brahmin had to go somewhere. He told his son that to see that God is fed. We offer food. That's what he meant. So the boy did not understand it. My father said that I have to feed God. How many of you are familiar with this story? Yes, so many. Boy entered with full of food, and he was asking God, my father told me that I have to feed you. But God was not coming down, no response at all. Then you see the boy thought, the God is not pleased with me, went on weeping. What is the problem with me? You used to come and eat when my father used to offer. I am a small boy. I don't know how to worship you. If you don't come and eat, then my father will come and beat me. His idea is God has to be fed. And you see, God, after some time, he could not bear the suffering of the child because 100% sincere faith. He comes down, smilingly sits down, eats the whole lot and says, Baba, I have eaten, take away. And all the other members were waiting for the prasadam. Prasadam means what? There should not be this much less than what they have taken inside. If there is more, we don't mind, miracle of God. But if there is less, then something wrong. Then the boy, where is the prasadam? And he said, God came and ate. Very innocent. They did not believe him. They said, you have eaten and then you are telling lies. How can a small boy eat such a big plate of thing? Even grown-up persons cannot eat. Few days passed, then you see the father returned, and as usual he told, now you do. And then he came with empty plate, and then he started beating. You are telling lies, you have eaten, this is not how you have to offer food to God. Then the boy started praying, God, why is it that you don't come? Because the father was witnessing. Then he heard a voice, because of your child's innocence, I accepted the food, but your mind is still very selfish. But there is a real story, Shiva Bhakta story. There was one same situation. Instead of boy, there was a small girl, and they used to worship Shiva. They used to call him Linga. So the father told to his daughter, see that God eats. And then she went inside, started weeping, Linga, every day you are eating when my father was offering, and what is wrong with me? You are not coming. Seeing the girl weeping, Lord Shiva came, sat down, ate the whole thing. The girl was very happy. After a few days, the father returned. He observed. Then he said, you are eating. Then she said, no, Baba, I am not telling a lie. Really, Shiva came and ate, and then he went away. No, show me. And then he was there, and she was praying, let me see. And after some time, he was not coming. She started beating her head on the Shivalinga, and blood started coming. Then Shiva could not hold. So he appeared and said, my child, in this world, very few devotees are like you. I will not allow you to suffer. You come with me. There was a lightning flash, and the daughter also disappeared. This is one of the stories of the Shivalinga. I will tell some other stories when the time comes. So what's important for us, that all the descriptions given about the Atman, they all apply to our chosen deity or God. And all the descriptions given of Anatman do not apply to God. The devotee also thinks, one day my devotion will increase, one day I will be nearer to God, and when I go to God, there will be no birth. Is it not eternal life? Anybody would think I will go to God, stay there for a few holidays, and then come back? It'll say, I am permanently to be here. And I am going to be absolutely happy. Permanently, I am going to be happy. Is it not? We already have the idea. Only thing is, we have to increase our, slowly develop our devotion through satsanga, through discrimination, through going to solitude, and through living like a maid servant. The 5 commandments of Sri Ramakrishna we have to follow. That is what is telling. Ultimately we arrive at 2 things in this, our experience. One is mithya prapancha and the other is satyam. And in this, what is the fact? I am satyam. Everything else is mithya. Accepting I, everything else is mithya. What is spiritual realization? When we say there are no 2 things. I am satyam, the world is also satyam. There is both myself and the world are nothing but 2 manifestations of the Atman from 2 points of view. When there is semi-darkness, there are 2. This example is also given. Swamiji gives. I am giving that example. He says, you know what is a mirage? You know what's a mirage? Very few of us have seen mirage. But those who live in near desert areas, they see the mirage all the time. Swamiji was describing, I was walking and then I became thirsty. Suddenly I saw beautiful, huge lake of cooling waters with all the banks full of these trees, everything. And I was walking. Suddenly it struck me, how could there be so much water in this desert area? This is not real. This is this is what I read about mirage. And then he said, after that also, did the mirage disappear? Because the mirage is not our mental projection. It is a physical phenomena because of certain conditions. Therefore, he said, I still continued to experience the mirage, but I know that it is not a water, it is only a mirage. Previously, I was running towards it. Now, I will not run towards it. This is a beautiful example. Previously, I am running after the world, running in 2 directions, running towards and running away. If something I think is going to give me happiness, I am running towards it. If I think something is going to give me pain, I am running away from it. But now, I see the same world, but I know this is only a mirage. But what is the reality? It is nothing but God. Mithya, there is no mithya. It is an experience only until we have that knowledge. Once we have that knowledge, experience will not go until death. After death, I become one with Atman. Seemingly, it's a linguistic problem. I don't become, I know I am the Atman. But until this body remains, I still experience everything as I am experiencing before. What is the difference? Now, it cannot create illusion, it can create fear, it cannot create unhappiness. That is our goal, spiritual life. 3 steps. What is the first step? God is real and world is unreal. What is the second step? God is also real, this world is also seemingly real. What is the last step? There are no 2 realities. God alone is appearing both as God and also as this seeming world. This is the lesson we have to learn. Okay, then we will go to, from next class onwards, very quickly we can go to all those. But I just want to summarize something very important. From verse 12 to verse 25, which we have not come, but I am just summarizing it. Atma Nityaha, Atma is eternal. This is 12th verse. 13th verse, everything else is anitya or mithya, changing. 14th verse, therefore, learn to bear every experience with equanimity, whether it is heat, cold, and profit, loss, defeat, victory, happiness, unhappiness, bear with equanimity. And 15th, such a person alone is called a dhiraha. 16th, God alone is real, the world is a temporary phenomena. 17th, the self is indestructible, and no one can destroy reality. Example is, the pot cannot destroy the clay. Can the clay destroy the clay? No. Nothing can be destroyed. Existence cannot destroy existence. 18th, every object in this world is destructible. 19th, no one kills, no one is killed. Why? Because where there are two, one can kill, the other can be killed. Where there is only one, I killed myself. Very beautifully. Can you make such a statement? You cannot make. Then number 20, he gives further description of the Atma. 21, whoever knows him to be indestructible, eternal, unborn and inexhaustible, how can that man slay, O Arjuna, or cause to be slain? 22, theory of Punarjanma. So just as a person discards old and worn out clothes and puts on new clothes, when the time comes, we discard this. What is this body compared to? Worn out dress. So we take this very important verse confirms Hindu idea of reincarnation. 24. The self cannot be cut, burnt, wetted, nor dried up. It is eternal, all-pervading, stable, ancient, and immovable. 25. The self is said to be unmanifested, unthinkable, unchangeable. Therefore, knowing this to be such, thou shouldest not grieve. These are ideas, some of the beautiful Sanskrit words used about Atma. Aprameyaha, Nityaha, Nirvikaraha, Sarvagataha, Akarta, Abhokta, Dhiraha, Amritaha, Sat, Avinashi, Sarvavyapi, Anashi, Shashvataha, Puranaha, Avyayaha, Dehi, Shariri, Sthanuhu, Achalaha, Sanatanaha, Avikaryaha, Achedyaha, and Avyaktaha. Hopefully, at least some of them you will keep in memory. But if you forget, I am there. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Beautiful ideas. We have to go on hearing, little bit,